What's up, guys? We're back. Episode 8 of the Halo TV series is out, and it leaves off where Halo 6 ended. Halo 6, Episode 6 ended. So after John and Mackie's intimate moment on the Halo, they decide to go for a stroll on Reach, where they talk about what they're going to do once they get to Halo, what they're going to do with it, and what happens. John's asking Mackie about what happens, because obviously she has more information about this. Um, During their walk, they're interrupted by some MPs because you find out that the Covenant have completely glassed the planet, completely wiped it out. Just it's lava. Because of this, John suggests that they take the fight to the Covenant. This is where Keyes asks, "How do we do that?" And John says that Mackie can use the artifact to track the Covenant back to their planet, and convinces them to let him do so. This is where the episode loses me. When Master Chief goes back to tell Mackie that she's going to help, or that she's going to be allowed to help. I'm not telling you you're gonna help, but Master Chief turns into the Master of Cheeks. It was a very intimate love scene, and I can't say that I don't like how they did it. They did it just fine, right? But I don't like that they did it. I don't like the Master Chiefs having sex. It doesn't seem very Halo-y to me. But the way they went about it was well written, I think. So there's that. The whole time this is happening, Cortana's kind of watching, which is just creepy, and she kind of looks jealous, which is weird. We know in the games that she has a very strong attachment to John, but at this point in the show, she doesn't have that attachment yet, or at least we didn't think. So there's that. After they do the deed, Mackie goes over to the sink and removes her little plasma blade nail and rips it out of her finger. I'm not sure how John didn't wake up during this. She's in agonizing pain the whole time. Rinses it down the drain, and I think this is supposed to signify a change of heart for her. She's coming over and seeing the good in humanity, and she's coming back over to our side after having been kidnapped by the Covenant and indoctrinated for so long. Which I kind of believe, because we've all been there, right? We assume that both of these two are virgins, unless she's not, and there's some weird hentai stuff going on. But that first time you get a huge emotional attachment to that person. I don't care how good or bad it was. It was bad, let's be honest. First time was bad, it always is. But huge emotional attachment after that. So I actually believe that she's coming over to this side because of Master Cheeks. But I digress. Switches over, and you get to see Keyes and Halsey having a conversation where Keyes is telling her that she has to be off planet by noon, which is when they're going to let Mackie touch the artifact to try to track down the Covenant. They want Halsey gone before that. Halsey throws a big fit. Keyes is like, nobody cares, all right? You're done. You're gone. You've burned all your bridges. And you get to see a little bit more callous out of Halsey. Keyes asks her, what else are you willing to lose for your cause? She says everything. I'm willing to lose absolutely everything for this cause. You get to see how just disconnected she is from humanity at this point. After Keyes walks away, her assistant comes over with the little retinal scanner thing that she got in the end of episode 6 with her daughter's login information so she could access the computer systems on Reach again. With this, she gets into Mackie's cell and tries to convince Mackie to steal the artifact and bring it to her, that John doesn't know exactly what he's doing, and that he will follow her and no one else. And she almost seems to be bringing Mackie over to her side until she starts talking like she wants to be a god once they get to the Halo. And Mackie's like, whoa, I've heard this before. We're not doing this. I'm not helping you shut it down. Right, so Halsey comes up with another plan, and she is going to have Silver Team kidnap John, Mackie, steal the artifact, meet her on a ship, and fly away with all three of them, right? So she uses her back channel to communicate with the Spartans, which is just a weird screech. You just hear a weird high-pitched screech, and they're like, time to go. It's dumb, right? Then they have this weird Power Rangers like moment where it shows all three of their faces as they're getting into their armor, like they're about to form the Megazord. It was real dumb. I don't like it. She claims that the higher-ups in the military have all been corrupted and that her orders are the only ones to be followed. And I just want to know what kind of chain of command doesn't tell people. Like, if your boss was completely fired and being sent to a whole nother place, like, you'd think you would know about it. How do they not know that Halsey's been fired and is no longer in charge? But they just listen to her blindly. Kai is the only one who doesn't. And because of that, Halsey tells Silver Team to take out Kai. And Kai learns exactly why Spartans aren't supposed to take off their fucking helmets. She gets knocked out. Knocked out and tied up to some concrete bench. She wakes up a little later on. So Silver Team is getting ready to ambush John and Mackie at this point. And Cortana finally has her change of heart. She realizes that Halsey is completely insane. She kills Halsey's comms, jumps over and tells John that he's walking into an ambush. John sends Mackie to run in the opposite direction to try to get help, and he tries to initially talk to Silver Team, and Silver Team is not having it. He engages with, I should have wrote down their names. Raze and Vanek. So he engages with Vanek originally, and is kind of doing work, even though he's not in his armor. And he gets the gun away from him, and you see, I just said her name. You see the other one come running in, and they have an amazing little scrap. And Cortana is doing some amazing things in this fight. She's calling out the weaknesses in the opponents, where they're at. He gets pinned down at one point, and she takes control of a warthog, which I didn't know that was a thing. I think that's special for the show, but I liked it a lot. She took control of a warthog and tried to run one of them over. It was great. But Mackie eventually finds help, but it's that dickhead MP that's been outside of her quarters the whole time. He immediately just completely ignores that she's saying Master Chief's in trouble, and starts calling her Squidhead again and everything. She's begging him to help John. She's being grilled about what's happening here and there and here and there, and just as she's kind of starting to get everybody on her side, that's when Miranda Keyes discovers that Mackie's voice is the one that sent the radio communication from the other ship that she murdered everybody on. Comes in and tells everybody that, so obviously they don't like her now. So this MP throws her to the ground, and he's got this little baton that he pulls out, and you would assume it was like, kind of like a stun gun, and he was just going to incapacitate her. No, it's just a torture stick. I don't know why any guard would have a torture stick. Just and frying her, which obviously triggers her PTSD from her childhood. She says, you all are going to pay. Reaches up, grabs the artifact, and it completely fries the dude behind her. The MP that's been being a prick the whole time, he's dead. He's gone. No more. It sends a huge pulse throughout the whole place and interrupts the fight that the Spartans are having. Oh, I forgot to talk about a little bit of this. During this fight, Master Chief starts to lose, obviously, because it's two fully armored Spartans against him. And that's when Kai shows up with a falcon knee straight into Vadek's chest, and they have a little bit of a scrap, and they end up in like a Mexican standoff where everybody's got guns to each other's head. Obviously, John's got no armor, and Vadek is telling the other Spartan to take the shot as if it was okay just to kill him. Halsey never wanted him dead. What are you talking about? Take the shot. That's not your call to make. Calm down. And that is the stalemate they're left in when this pulse blows through them. And John is transported back to the Halo. We assume his consciousness. He's not physically transported there, I don't think. And that's where Mackie shows up and just says, goodbye, John. And it cuts to credits. And that is episode 8 in a nutshell. I tried to do this whole review in one take this time instead of little takes where I say 3 sentences and move on. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Make sure to smack that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Better than Master Chief smashed them cheeks this episode. We'll see you next week for the season finale.